Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you for today's session. So today Thursday evening. Karthik Pro and Sunil Pro, only two of you have come. What about others?
I don't know, sir.
Is there any some reminder kind of thing is put up in your this thing group?
Yes, sir. They have put.
Yeah,
They have put, sir.
they have put it. Okay, okay. Is it some WhatsApp group?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Okay, no problem. Maybe they will hear the recordings. So today we'll start with our discussion. Before that, we need to just revise what happened yesterday. So that revision we will take through an activity. This is today's topic, mechanism of reincarnation. Yeah, so let us take the activity. Yes, this one. Okay, so this is the activity which summarizes yesterday's our discussion. So let us go through this. Tick mark either true or false. So you have to tell me whether the statement, I will read the statement and you have to tell whether it is true or it is false. So first statement, atheists consider that Vedas are for some superstitious, narrow-minded people. Yeah, they consider like that. Atheist means those who don't believe in God. They think that Vedas are for some narrow-minded people. What's the answer? Yes, Karthik, true. Is it true or false?
False, bro.
False, yes. So
False.
Vedas is for the most intelligent people, not for narrow-minded or superstitious people, because Vedas teach everything properly. And second is primitive humans were Stone Age men who were uncivilized. With time, they evolved. So what is this? True or false?
False, Prabhuji.
False. Yes, correct. Third one, modern man is the most evolved and civilized man in comparison to men millions of years ago.
True, sir.
False, bro.
Yes, false. Then fourth, fossil records show complete forms instead of gradually evolving forms.
True.
Yes, it is true because fossil records never showed the gradually evolving forms. If it would have shown gradually evolving forms, then Darwin's theory is correct. But they couldn't get. That's why Darwin's theory is wrong. So complete forms now also it is existing, and many years before also it was existing. Then fifth one, we are descendants of apes, gradually evolving to Homo sapiens, Cro-Magnon man. Animals without long necks survive. Are we descendants of apes? True or false?
False, I guess.
Yeah, it is false. Correct. It took long time for you. Okay. Sixth one, Darwin's theory is taught even in the elementary school books to give children faith in God.
False, sir.
Yeah, false. Correct. Seventh, no evidence in of forms changing from unicellular to multicellular.
True.
Yes, true. We human beings have glorious ancestors like Brahma, Saptarishis, and Manu.
True.
Yes. By breeding, dog remains dogs, pigs remain pigs.
True.
Yes, true. Human fossils are found before fossils of apes in rock
False.
strata. Yeah?
False.
No, it's true.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, human fossils are found before fossils of apes. Because if fossils of apes are found before, that means we are coming from apes. But human fossils are found before. So that was one of the contradictory point in Darwin's theory. 11th, parents should know Darwin's theory to be able to help their children
Oh.
in knowing its fault.
False, Prabhuji. False, Prabhuji.
Who? Parents should know.
Parents should know Darwin's theory to be able to help children in knowing its
False.
fault. Okay, what is this? Parents should know Darwin's theory
Who?
to be able to help their children in knowing its fault. Okay, I'm also a little confused about this. How it is true, Sunil? You can tell.
Sir, because if parents know Darwin theory is wrong, then they can teach their children. Sir. We shouldn't believe it's all myths, theories. Sir.
Okay, that means if parents know that Darwin's theory is wrong, then they can help the children to know its fault.
Yeah. And if we come to know in the school, the theory will be taken according to the state syllabus and it will be wrong, obviously.
Yes, yes. So I think the statement was little differently. It should have written. Parents should know Darwin's theory to be wrong, like that they should have told, so that they can tell the fault. Okay. 12th one, if only long-necked giraffes got leaves, how did other?
False.
What is this other? Next is nothing is there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All questions.
Okay, okay. So let us start with our today's discussion. Thank you, Sunil and Karthik. Very nicely you told almost all the points are correct. So we come here with the mechanism of reincarnation. What happens at death? So everybody wants to know what happens at death, because we know what is going on now, and things are moving nicely. We are enjoying. We are taking our 3 times nice food. We are sleeping. Everything is going on so nicely. But anytime death can come and can stop everything. So what is going to happen when the death comes? Is it that our life is the only thing? Now, like there are many old people, they say that, oh, now I have become old. Now I have given my responsibility to my son and I am going. So where you are going, but where you are going? Because it's not that, okay, the life is only of 100 years and once you die, that's it. You just rest the entire whatever period is there. It's not like that. The soul is always active. It never becomes old. People may think I have become old. So it's not they become old. It's that the body has become old. They are the same soul. Soul never becomes old or like that. So that is a very good news for all of us, because there are so many men. Like there was one man, he wanted to, actually he had crores of money. He had so much money that he can his even 10 generation can just sit in the home and eat all the time, and there was no what we say, there was no scarcity of money in his home. Everything was abundantly available. So but by, and he was only 50 years old and he was having crores of rupees. So but somehow by the misfortune he got a disease, which some tumor he had, because of which doctor told that within next 3 or 4 months, maximum 3 or 4 months, you will be able to live, not more than that. And then when he came to know this, he said, my lord, I have earned so much money, so much wealth I have. What is the use of that? If next 4 years I die, this money I cannot even take with me. So what to do? Then he said, no, no ways, I want to live forever. And he started jumping from one place to another in search of a doctor. He went to different places, the best of the doctors in the world. He went, he took their appointment and all the, even he used to give a lot of money to them, so that they will give him a quick appointment and he can get immediately into that and he can increase his life. So when only 1 month was remaining for his life, he actually visited one doctor who was a very very famous doctor in the world, and he was known for what we say, increasing the duration of life of people. But when this man approached this doctor said that actually your tumor is increased to such a level that now we can't do anything. You have to die within next 1 month. And death can, you cannot even live 1 minute also, you can't live more than this 1 month, he says. And this man was very surprised. He said, what do you want? You want money? I will give you half of my property. Whatever, crores of crores, you don't have to even do the profession of doctor. so much money I will give you and feed you. So you give that, but you increase my life by at least 2-3 years, because I have so many things to do. There are list of items to be done. So what to do? So then this doctor said, oh, what are you speaking? I'm not here for money. I am just telling you the truth. It's not about any money or some matter. And then this man was completely broken down. He couldn't increase his lifetime, and he went to several other doctors also, and same thing came up. And at the end, he has to die, and nobody could actually help him. And all this money, it just remained in the bank balance. Maybe the government must have taken it. So this is the situation when a person is not able to increase his life. But the good news which Bhagavad Gita tells us is, we are not this body, but we are spirit soul. So we don't have to, of course, this all wealth and everything is anyway material, and it is going to be remain in this world only. But what is going to be with us is our spiritual credits. So that, of course, we are going to see that. So mechanism of reincarnation, what happens at death. So this is what I was telling about, that people, they are so much into attached to their like there was like Srila Prabhupada, when he was traveling in the west, he saw one building was there, and in the building there was one tree which was just touching the building, and it was like it started here, but it was almost leaning towards the building. And then Prabhupada laughed at that, and he said to his disciples who were around him, he said that, you see this tree bending towards the building? Actually, this tree was the owner of the building in the previous life. And because he was so much attached to the building, now he has got the body of a tree just beside that particular building. So this is the cause of attachment. And how that's how the attachment can bring a newer body for us. And that, according to our attachment, like there are this, there is a soul is there, and there is a covering of a subtle body, and then there is a gross body. So gross body means that which we are able to see: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. This is gross body. And subtle body consists of mind, intelligence, and ego. So this subtle body carries lot of desires, that I want to become this, I want to become that. So somehow when the death comes, people who have not fulfilled their desires, it restores in the subtle body. And even though the gross body is gone, the subtle body takes him to the new body. It will, according to his desires, he will be getting a new body in that way. So
Sir, how to overcome from attachment?
yeah, that we will discuss in the coming ahead. We will discuss about that, how to overcome attachment. But now
Okay, sir.
we will more focus on the point that how this attachment entangles us. Okay, so this is scientific mechanism of reincarnation. Like you see this in the photo, there is an old man who is dying, almost died, and now his soul is going to go, because once you die, people say that, oh, wo chala gaya, wo guzar gaya. So he has passed away. Passed away means what? His body is still there. How can you say he's passed away? Or he has gone? Where he has gone? The body is still there. Till now you were thinking that I am this body. Now the body is there, no? Then how can you say he's passed away? So actually the body is still there, but the soul has passed away. Soul has gone. Where he has gone? It is actually, according to subtle body, it is searching where I will match and which kind of body I will get. So here you see the old man, after his death, he is entering into another womb of one Mataji, one lady, and he will take birth into her family. So that also happens. This kind of things happen. And here it is shown about second, what we say, second birth is also of a human, but sometimes it may be of an animal, it may be of a tree, it may be of an insect, it may be of bird or fish or anything it can be. It depends on our karmic activities which we perform in the entire life. Yeah, so this is, you see the small baby inside the womb of a mother. So now you may see that how this particular soul traverses, like how it goes from one place to another, like I know, okay, if I die, then my soul will go, but where it goes and how it enters to the womb of this mother exactly, is it that just that photo was given, is it like that, or is there some mechanism? So yes, in Bhagavad Gita it is said in the third canto, 31st chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, where this verse comes about Jantur Deho Prapadyate, where Kapila Dev, he is actually telling Lord Kapila, he is giving the teachings to his mother Devahuti. and is telling her that how this living entity takes birth. So especially when the living entity dies, the soul actually goes to the sky, and it remains there. It remains in the sky. And when the rain comes, it actually through the rain, the soul also comes and goes down in the earth. And then when it is gone into the earth, so it actually takes shelter into some grains like wheat particles or rice particles like that. And when the man he eats those grains, then that particular soul actually goes with him, and the grain actually transformed into semen. So to semen, this particular soul he goes into the womb of mother or another lady. So in that way he takes birth as a child, and that's how he again comes back into this world. So this is a process of soul, how he traverses from one body to another. This is a mechanism you can see. It is given in the scriptures, and scientists can never even able to think that how this is happening. That's why they don't believe in the process of reincarnation or soul, because they are not able to understand how the soul is going from one place to another. So those things cannot be explained scientifically. It has to be heard from a parampara system, that is Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, so coming to our PPT. So yeah, so here you see there are these children, very beautiful children, and now the right side, the above child, he's playing mridanga, and if you see his age, he must be around 3 or 4 years old, and still he is able to play mridanga. And there are many, even in ISKCON, we have seen some very small children, but even like I am practicing from so many years, almost a decade. But when I also start playing mridanga, it becomes very difficult for me, because mridanga playing is not so easy. Kartal becomes very easy to play, but mridanga is not so easy. We have to really have very good musical sense. At the same time, the hand should go on very exactly to the music. But here you see the child, he is able to play mridanga even from the small tender age. And I have even seen from my own eyes that people have done that. Very small children are actually doing that. They are dancing, they are having tilak. Even there is one boy in our ISKCON Hyderabad only. So morning he is maybe some 6 or 7 years old. Every day 4:30 in the morning he will come for Mangalarti. He will dance in the kirtan, and so much enthusiasm. Like sometimes children means they want to sleep in the morning, they don't want to get up. But here we see he is coming, and so that shows that there is some past sukruti, which in the past also he might have gone through that life. So because of that he may be having desire that okay, next life also I want to become devotee and I want to serve Krishna. So now he gets a chance to become devotee because he takes the birth in a devotee family. So like that. So so that generally happens, that in case a person is not able to complete his Krishna consciousness in one life, then in the next life he will get an opportunity where he will take birth in a very good family, especially in a devotee family, where he will again get a chance to practice Krishna consciousness and start from where he has left off in his previous life. So like that.
Sir, if a person miss second chance also, then
Now I couldn't get your question.
sir, you said if we can't follow in our life Krishna consciousness, we will get second chance. If we have missed a second chance also, then what to do?
Third chance. It
Huh?
will go on. Yeah, we
Means
will get
continuing
third chance.
chances.
Krishna will give you many chances, but if you are serious, then you can go back in one chance only. You don't have to go for third chance, fourth chance, or like
Okay,
that.
sir.
Yes.
Hello, Prabhuji. Namaskar, Prabhuji.
Who is there?
Vasudev, Prabhuji. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
Vasudev. Just now you joined, I think.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji. Sorry for delay. Actually, I have some work.
No
So that's
problem.
why.
No problem. I was just
Prabhuji,
revising previous class till now. Just now we
Prabhuji.
started with a new topic.
Okay,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there is like saying that we have very many celestial planets like Vaikuntha, Vrindavan, like these planets, no, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
And if the person attend moksha means they are elevated to that spiritual planes, or in the some yogic practices they say that they will be merged into super soul Paramatma. Like, no, Prabhuji. Again, they don't have rebirth, no, Prabhuji. They are saying that if we elevated to any other celestial planets, we have to come back. if we merge with the super soul, the Paramatma, then only that is a complete moksha. Then there is no rebirth for such a soul. There is saying like this, Prabhuji. Will you please comment on it, Prabhuji?
Yes, that is correct. So actually, according to our karma, we get different types of bodies. So sometimes, suppose a person does lot of sinful activity. So we'll start from down. If person does lot of sinful activities, that means he does all sins like crimes, murdering the people, killing animals, and then he does gambling, like looting, robbery, or doing some theft in some bank, or some people also. There are people who take loan from someone and then they say that I cannot pay. So they do like that. Or sometimes gambling, which involves some money and cheating propensities and all. So this is like murdering, killing. I told about gambling. I told then illicit sex, like having connection with someone outside of marriage, so that is also considered a sinful activity. Then intoxication, drinking liquor, smoking, and these all things. So if you see all these things, these are very very sinful activities, and there are much more. I don't want to get into that, but all the sinful activities, when one performs, then because of his so many sinful tendencies, the desires which he has developed, the subtle body also takes that kind of shape, and in the next life he may be born as some animal, or he may even go to the hellish planet, because he has done so many sinful activities. So he's sent to the hellish planet. So if you see in the universe, we have earthly planet, which is in the middle. Above there are heavenly planets, and down there are hellish planets. So hellish planets, if you I have one video, it's a very dangerous scene where a person is dragged, and actually the hellish planet people lives for many years.
Sir, can you show that video?
Yeah, I will show it some of the other time, not now. So I will just tell you in brief about that description, what happens in hell. So those people who perform sinful activities, they go to hell, and they are being tortured like anything. Like they are even put into the, what we say, in the hot oil, where they are sometimes fried, like puris we fry, no? Like that the people are fried, and still they will not die, and they will be alive, and the pain like sometimes if you die, that means pain will be stopped, because pain is only for the body, and when you die, pain is stopped. But in hell, even after so much suffering also, person doesn't die. So, but the pain is the same. Pain is always, he gets those pain. He is being put, sometimes he is what we say, the different kinds of arrows and chaku and other things, his body is being cut into different parts and all, but still he doesn't die, and he experiences those pain. So it is very very painful, hellish planet. And there are many more things which I can't even explain. So that comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. There is one section, description of hellish planets. So all this description is given there. And so this is about sinful people. Those people in the world who doesn't do the sinful activity, they are quite pious. They do help. They are like goody, we say. They are in the mode of goodness. They say you are good, he is good, and they want to help people. They do some charity to different organizations, and they live very peacefully. They don't hurt anyone. They have their own family. They nicely take care of that, and they don't do any gambling or any kind of bad activities in this life, in their life. At the same time, they are not devotees also. They are not practicing Krishna consciousness. They are not chanting. So they are not doing these things. So they are not in the sinful part. They are not fully spiritual also. They are like in between. So these people go to the heavenly planets, which are the top planets, where they get the chance to enjoy. But that heavenly planet also comes in the material world only. A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. So from the topmost planet of Brahma, even Brahma's planet is not permanent. Even that will be annihilated at the time of death. So from that planet down to the end, everybody is actually in the suffering in the universe. So even if this kind of people, they get a chance to go to heavenly planets, but after certain period of time, maybe some 100 years, the heavenly 100 years are much, what we say, duration is much more than earthly 100 years. So after that, again they have to come back to this earthly planet, and again they have to come. So they remains in the cycle of birth and death only. It's like, just because they have done some good activities, so they get some concession, they get some enjoyment in the higher planets, but again they come back. But only a person who, what we say, as Vasudeva was telling about Paramatma, Basically, that is Bhagwan realization. When one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, he chants his holy name, he becomes fully purified, all his anarthas, desires are lost. Then the subtle body, which I was telling about, that subtle body is completely destroyed, and the soul becomes very pure, and that goes back to Godhead in the abode of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So in the so if you see the entire cosmic manifestation, the 3/4 part of that is spiritual world, and 1/4 part of that is material world. So material world, there are many universes. In every universe, there are earthly planet, heavenly planet, celestial planet. So these are all material world. But spiritual world means there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets are there, where Lakshmi Narayan is residing, and there are different living entities also there who are purified. And above Vaikuntha also there is a Golok Vrindavan, where Lord Krishna is residing with his associates, cowherd, Gopals, Gopis, and Yashoda Maya, Nanda Maharaj, and the cows, peacocks. All these things are there in the Golok Vrindavan, where Lord is residing. Also there is Ayodhya Dham. There are different Dwarka. All those things are there in the spiritual world. So whatever we see in this material world, that is just a reflection. The actual original personality is in the spiritual world. So this is how earthly planet is. That's why it is called as Karma Bhumi, if you have heard about that. So whatever activities you do, either you will go up, you will go down, or you will go out of this world in the Supreme Lord's abode. So is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, thanks. Thank you for
Yeah,
the
so
description.
yeah, so this description, of course, I am anyway going to tell about that in the course of our PPT, because you asked question, so I elaborated in this question itself. So let us go ahead. So this is the same thing for those who lead pious life. They are heading for a brighter future as described below. So see here it is what I was telling, that is only given here. Enjoys on heavenly planets for many years. Then again he is sent to this planet back, takes birth in a rich aristocratic merchant or pious righteous Brahman Vaishnavas to use the facilities to elevate in Krishna consciousness. So that is the glory of Krishna consciousness, that even if somebody is not able to perfect it, but because he is practicing Krishna consciousness, so he will be benefited. That goes into his eternal bank account, spiritual account, where all these things will be stored. Okay, he has done 5% advancement in this life in spirituality, so next life he will start with 6%. Or if suppose Karthik is there, he has done 10% advancement in spiritual life, this particular life, the next life he will start with 11%. And of course you can do till 99% or 100% in this life only, but I am just telling about the unsuccessful people. In case they are not able to do the full 100%, still it's not a loss. Neha Vikramanaashvasti Pratyabhayona Vidyate Swalpam apiyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So even swalpam, that means even if little devotional service one has done, that is not a waste. So even if a person comes and he says Hare Krishna, that means he has done some little advancement, maybe point not one or like that. So even that is counted in spiritual circle. Even in the next life it will be counted. But that is not true with the what we say, like if one has done some IIT degree for engineering, he has gone to some IIT and got a degree from that, even he has done PhD also. But if he dies tomorrow, then next life he cannot say, oh, I was IIT in my last life. He cannot say that. He has to start with A B C D and first standard, second standard, again he has to start that. He cannot show the degree of his previous life. So that is not true with the material things. So that's how spiritual things are very important to practice. And here it is said also, fate of unsuccessful yogi who falls after a short practice. So that is 641. We are going to discuss this next. Yeah, so here it is. What happens? Fate of an unsuccessful yogi. Birth in the family of transcendentalists and are surely great in wisdom. So they become acharyas or goswamis, or they become very great devotees even in this life, because in the previous life they couldn't complete the fully. So when they take the next birth, they are already advanced. You may say that, oh, he has just come to Krishna consciousness just now, but because previous life he has practiced 50%, now he's starting with 51. So he has advanced a lot. So the example here you can see in the photos also. Bhakti Siddhanta says, Prakul, Srila Prabhupada, the examples are given. See these small children, from the very early childhood, they are able to get this chance to practice Krishna consciousness. irrespective of whichever country one is born. So here I want to tell you one very good story and wonderful story of Bharat Maharaj, and maybe we will end with this particular story. So Bharat Maharaj is, Bharat Maharaj, because of he was such a great king that even the name of Bharat, we say, that is given because of Bharat Maharaj. He was such a great king. He was ruling the entire world, and because of that, this Bharat name was given to this country. And yeah, so this name was given. So, and he was such a great and he was very spiritually advanced also. So at one time, when he was he has sons, grown up sons, and everyone, then he thought that okay, now I can fully engage in myself into devotional service for the Lord, and I can perfect my life and go back to Godhead. So that was his plan. So he wanted to retire from all the kingly positions, responsibilities due to his children, and he wanted to retire into the forest. So that was the norm in the previous Vedic times. The kings, they used to rule for some years, and after that they used to retire and go to forest and fully focus on the Lord. So he also did that, and he went to the forest. After going to forest, he was even on the platform of bhava, like when he used to chant Hare Krishna, the tears used to come from his eyes and the hairs used to stand, and he was really into ecstasy, remembering Lord. And so he was having that platform. But what happens is, once there was a baby deer who was there was one deer, and one lion was actually roaring very loudly. So this deer was very afraid, and she started running. And the Bharat Maharaj, where he was meditating, there was one Gandaki river. So this deer came and somehow it fell into that river, and she died. But she was pregnant that time. So one baby deer actually falls from her womb, and she dies because of that fear of that lion. And suddenly this kind miscarriage happens, so she dies. But the baby deer was there, and Bharat Maharaj become very compassionate that what will happen to the baby deer. Maybe there are so many lions and tigers in this forest, so they may eat this baby deer, so let me take care of her. So he brought the baby deer, who was very very small, just born before few hours. So he brought her to her he brings her to his hermitage. And after that he started taking care of the deer, bathing the deer, giving nice food to the deer, that grasses and all. And he became very much attached to the deer in this due course of time. And then actually slowly, gradually, he felt that this deer is totally dependent on me, and she doesn't have any other shelter. So that was a mistake on the side of Bharat Maharaj, where he neglected his spiritual life. Like when he was offering oblations into the yajna, so while offering oblations, sometimes he used to look at the deer, and he was not able to concentrate on his spiritual practice. So in one sense he got deviated. So you can see in this picture on the right side, see, he's putting ahuti in the fire, and he's looking at the deer. So he becomes so attached that every time he was always having the deer on his lap, even while sleeping, even while going anywhere, he used to always carry. And once when he could not find the deer, he became very very anxious that where is my deer, oh my deer, and he started wandering all over the forest. And then he thought that, oh, because of my what we say, because of my uh, inattentiveness, I could not take care of the deer, and now some animal must have eaten the deer. And he became so anxious, and he just fell down there. And because I fell down, and some sunstroke he got, and actually died. But while dying also, he was thinking of the deer. And you know that antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram, that whatever thing or whatever desire you have at the time of death, that kind of body you receive. So because he was thinking of deer all the time, so next life he gets the body of a deer. And instead of going back to Godhead, to the Supreme Lord's abode, he again takes birth in this world, and he becomes a deer. So now the main story starts here, that what happens after he becomes a deer. So because in his previous life he has also done a lot of spiritual practice, so Lord understood, and out of mercy, Lord actually gave him remembrance of his previous life, even in the body of deer. So when he got this birth, he actually lamented like anything. He thought that I came to this forest for spiritual realization, but I got attached to a deer, and now I have got a body of a deer. Now what to do? Then he wanted to rectify his mistake, and again he started practicing spiritual life. And then when he left, gave up the body of the deer, he became a very wonderful Brahmana. He took birth in a Brahmana family, very aristocratic family, and then his name became Jadbharat, because animal life you cannot go back to Godhead. So again he has to take one more life. So like that, 3 lifetimes of Bharat Maharaj. That is a story given in Srimad Bhagavatam. So again he takes third birth where he becomes Jad Bharat, but this time he was very very careful not to do any mistakes, and he was like a deaf and dumb man. He was not talking to anyone, but he was totally spiritually realized, and ultimately he instructed also some of the people, and later he went back to Godhead at the end of the Brahmana's life. So that's how this is the journey of Bharat Maharaj. So of course we should learn from his life that how he did some mistakes, and there are many spiritual activities also he did, and he got the result also of that. So we also should follow in the footsteps of Bharat Maharaj in terms of remembering the Lord, and not getting distracted to any attachment, and go ahead with our journey. So here it is said, common theme is after getting opportunity in the appropriate families, they begin their yoga practice from wherever they left off. So whatever practice Bharat Maharaj did, that was not in vain. When he took the Bharat deer, that time he used to remember, and then at Jad Bharat also he remembered all those things, and then he went back to Godhead. He completed his 100%. Here it is said, Bharat Maharaj is deer and later Jad Bharat. One revives the divine consciousness of their previous lives. Yeah, so these are the things. Here you see this is the scene when he was dying. Bharat Maharaj was dying. He was remembering deer. That's how he becomes deer. Similarly, here you see the old people are sitting here, couple, and they are watching movies. So actually, their subtle body, according to their subtle body, subtle desires are being developed. I should become this, or I should become that. And when these 2 old people, when they die, they will take again birth. Of course, not only as human, according to their karma also. It may be any place, or maybe nearby house they will take birth, and again they have to go through that. So that's why one has to be very careful not to develop material desires, but one should develop spiritual desires and go back to Godhead. So Vasudev, can you read this entire paragraph? Very important.
Our mental existence transforms into tangible form as soon as there is an opportunity. For example, there are waves transmitted by the TV station all around. Although we cannot see them with our eyes, if we have a TV set, we can switch it on and see those waves taken on a form on the TV screen. In the same manner, depending on the unfulfilled desire stored in the subtle body of the soul is carried by the subtle body to a particular womb where he eventually get a gross body. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
so the waves of this TV, they are everywhere, but we can't see. But once the television is there, you connect it, and immediately you can see it in the real form. Similarly, it is said here that the desires are stored in a subtle body. So we have soul, subtle body, and then gross body. So gross body goes, but subtle body always carries the soul to different places. And according to that desires, as soon as proper opportunity comes, the subtle body takes a form of another gross body and takes another birth. Then again child, again youth, and those things continue. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, puranapi jatani, jatare shayanam. So that's how the thing goes on. Like here you see there is a shop. You can just go to a shop and try different types of sweaters or jeans pant or t-shirts you can get. And how can you get it? If you go to some shop, and there are varieties of, there are some 10 rupees shirt is there, there are 10,000 rupees shirts are there. How can you get such kind of clothes? What is the eligibility? Yes, what you need to get some clothes from the shop? Yeah, you don't
Need
need
money.
anything. Yeah, money is
Need
required.
money.
Yes, correct. So without money, you can't just go. You go to shop and tell that I want this. They will say, "Oh, give money. Money is the price for this particular shirt." So similarly, when you similarly in this world, it is said here that 84 lakh million species of life are there. 84 lakh or 8.4 million species of life are there. So if one has to take birth in some particular species, that means you need to pay a price for that. So in here the price is money. What is the price in to get the 8.4 million species to choose the body in that? What is the price? Can you guess?
Brahma.
Bhakti,
Yeah.
Bhakti
No,
and
Bhakti
Yogam.
can give you spiritual birth. Here we are talking about material birth.
Good karmas.
Yeah, karmas.
Returns and karma.
Whatever good or bad it may be, we don't know what karmas it will be. But whatever karma is like a prize. So according to one's karma, one gets birth in one of these 84 lakh species of life. Some may become animals, some may become a demigod, some may become Indra also. So that depends on one's eligibility, karma. So different. So that's how it's like a shop. This material world is like a shop. Yeah, here are some example. Like you see, who is this animal sleeping here? Can you guess?
Polar bear.
Polar bear. Yeah. So and here one lady is sleeping. So one who sleeps at too much, he becomes polar bear. Like in IIT, there was one boy who, when he completed, he was giving his engineering exams. So when on Friday he had exam which ended on Friday, and after ending so many night outs he did to what we say study for the exams. So when Friday exams got over, he directly slept and then got up on Sunday. After 2 days, directly got up. So such people are also there who sleeps for so many hours and hours. So they become polar bear in their next life. Here you see the woman is exposing herself, so she becomes a tree, because exposing means you don't want to keep any clothes, so the tree doesn't have any clothes, so that person becomes a tree. Or here you see the person who is cutting the animals and eating. So but human being is not supposed to eat animals. So Krishna, Lord says that okay, you become a tiger because you like to eat meat, then better you take the body, suitable body which can fulfill your that desire. So because he is having this desire to eat meat, his subtle body carries him to the body of a tiger, where he can fulfill his desire of eating meat all the time. Tiger does not eat rice dal and all, he eats only meat, so he gets that kind of body. Yeah, so we'll stop here. There are some more stories are
Okay,
given,
sir.
so those stories maybe tomorrow we'll cover, and tomorrow of course easily this topic will get over, and then we can start with the new topic also. So thank you very much for your patience. And
Prabhuji, one last doubt. Prabhuji.
yeah, please tell Vasudev.
Prabhuji, I have Prabhuji, have you heard about Vasishta Gita, Yoga Vash system?
Yeah,
The
I heard
conversation
about
between Lord Ram. Prabhuji, in Yoga Vash system, Vasishta Mahamuni describes about yoga practices, meditation, but he does not describe about bhakti in the Yoga Vaishnava. Prabhuji. His complete concentration is on knowing the super soul and knowing the soul. Prabhuji,
yeah.
what is the significance of bhakti? Prabhuji, some of them are practicing this yoga and meditation. They're for the self-realization, Prabhuji. Some of the
Yes.
bhaktas are practicing on their Ishtadevata, Prabhuji. What their both destinations are same, Prabhuji? Do they reach at the same, Prabhuji, or they have different paths,
Destination is
Prabhuji?
different. I'll show you one verse from the scripture. Yeah, I'll share you this verse. This is from Bhagavatam. Vadanti tattvavidasthatvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. So there are three, like to achieve the supreme absolute truth, there are three methods. One is brahmeti, that is impersonal Brahman. One is paramatmeti, like what you are saying about super soul attainment. And one is Bhagavan, that is what is bhakti. So these three types are there. So and all three has different destinations. See here it is said, learned transcendentalists who know the supreme absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagwan. So the description is given here. So basically, I will tell like what is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. It's like different aspects of realization of God. So somebody may realize at the stage of Brahman, some may realize at the stage of Paramatma, some may realize at the stage of Bhagwan. But Bhagwan realization is complete and it includes Paramatma and Brahman, both realization. Whereas Paramatma includes Brahman, but Brahman is like alone. So when we talk about Brahman is generally practiced by Gyanis, Paramatma realization is generally practiced by yogis, and Bhagwan realization is generally practiced by Bhakti yogas. So like that, Jnani, Yogi, and Bhakta. So these are the categorization. And how it is, I will just give a simple analogy. Like once like a mountain, you see mountain, if you see from very far distance, you see just smokes are there around, maybe some kind of shape also you are not able to see completely, maybe some whitish something you see, that okay, something is there, some kind of smoke it seems when you see from very distance. That is like impersonal Brahman. Like impersonal Brahman means it's like just Brahma Jyoti. You think that everything is Nirakar, everything is like smoke or something. But when you go more closer, then you see a green mountain, and you think that okay, this is what is mountain. It's not just a smoke, it is a green mountain. It has a green color, and it's very wonderful. Then that is called Paramatma realization, which is also not complete realization of a mountain. It's like the same thing. Paramatma means it's not a complete realization of God, but to some extent you understand, okay, this is God, and he is fulfilling all our desires. But if you go more closer to the mountain, then you can see wonderful trees. You can see even the animals in that mountain roaming there and traveling, and there are different birds and some different species also you see. So that is called complete knowledge of the mountain. Similarly, complete knowledge of God, that is called Bhagwan. So that is being practiced by bhaktas. Whereas other two levels are not complete. It is also kind of understanding of God, but it's not complete realization. It is half realization. So that's why Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagwan iti Shabdate. So this is how. Another example I will give you is of a train. Like one village, many people, they never saw what is train. And when the first train started in their village, so the villagers wanted to know, okay, how the train look like, what is that train about. And then some villagers said that okay, we will go and find out. And they went into the station, and they saw that some sound was coming. Like you'll see, when the train is coming, some sound comes first. So they saw sound was coming, and there is some smoke. And they saw that, and they went into the village, and they said the train is just a smoke and make some sound. So that was their realization. And then some of the people were still waiting to know exactly what is this train. So then they saw that okay, the something is coming from that smoke. And one bogie was coming, and they saw that okay, there is some kind of, what we say, some kind of vehicle which is coming, and that is what is train, they said. They also went to the village, and they started announcing, no, no, this is not the train is like, it is having some bogies like that, uh, maybe a long one, and it moves on the wheels like that, they said. But there were some more people who wanted to exactly know what is train. So they still waited there in the station. And when the train actually arrived, they entered into the train, and they saw people are also sitting there. There are people sitting there, they are talking to each other, and there is nice place to sit. There is all the facilities were also there, people were eating also. So they got complete knowledge of the train, that okay, trains are there, even people can travel in the train. And those everything they came to know. And then they went to the village, and they gave the complete understanding of what is train. So this is what is the Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and Bhagwan realization. So those who worship Bhagwan, they actually go to the spiritual abode, they remain with the Lord. Those who practice, those who uh, become, what we say, Paramatma, those who worship Paramatma and all, their destination is, they may become some yogic planets are there, they may get birth into those planets. But that is not permanent. If you go there again, you have to come back to the earthly planet. And then there is Brahman people who worship Brahman, like Nirakar Brahman, impersonal. So they say that Lord does not exist. Like there are some organization also, they worship light. They say this is only the supreme. So such people, they go to the Brahma Jyoti. It is like Brahma Jyoti is just what we say, it is in between the spiritual world and material world. There is the effulgence of the Lord which is coming. So they want to merge into this Brahma Jyoti. But that merging cannot happen, because the nature of soul is to be active. So they go to this particular Brahma Jyoti, and again they fell down, and again they have to take rebirth, and those things again continue. So Bhagwan realization is the highest realization, and once you go, you perfect that, then you never come back to this world. Whereas that doesn't happen with the other two realization. So that is the difference.
Prabhuji, but in Vedas and Upanishads, they talk about this impersonal Brahman, and they say that Ishvara, that is in Ishavasa Upanishad, there are many Upanishads. They particularly describes about this Paramatma and Parabrahman only, no Prabhuji. They does not discuss about the personal form of the Lord, no Prabhuji.
No,
And also there is
many scriptures, actually scriptures give the entire idea about different features. It cannot just give the idea about Bhagwan. They have to give idea about Brahman and Paramatma also. And they give everything because there are different levels of people who can practice at different levels. Even there are so many religions. Like Sanatan Dharma is the highest religion, but there are also other religions. So some people who are not able to follow the highest religion, then the lower religions are given to them. So that gradually they what we say elevate and come to the highest religion. So that is the main goal. So some religions,
Prabhuji.
yeah.
Okay. Prabhuji, they says that the Nirakara Nirguna Parabrahma, during the time of the creation, it becomes a Saguna Brahma. In the Saguna Brahma means you said Vishnu, like Adi Vishnu, this is the Adi Vishnu. From this Adi Vishnu in Saguna Brahma, there becomes Brahma and Maheshwar. There is the saying like this, Prabhuji. But firstly, there is the Nirakara and Nirguna Parabrahma. From the
Yeah, so that is also
Nirakara and
correct.
Nirguna
That is
Brahma,
not wrong. That is also correct because
then we
when
get
we say
Seguna
Lord,
Brahma.
actually when we say Lord, it includes impersonal aspect also and personal aspect also. It's not only personal or it's not only impersonal. So
Yes,
if you
Prabhuji.
say that Lord is only impersonal, that means you are limiting that he cannot
Yes,
be person,
Prabhuji.
he is only impersonal.
Lord
And
is everything.
yeah, God is everything. He is personal also, he is impersonal also. How he is
Yes,
person?
Prabhuji.
He is situated in his own abode, that is in Golok Vrindavan, so he is a person, but at the same time, he is everywhere. Even
Yes, so,
everywhere, because Krishna's God's existence is everywhere. Without him, nothing can work. So in that way,
yes,
impersonally
Prabhuji.
he is everywhere, and personally he is at one place. But
Yes,
this
Prabhuji.
Nirakarvadis, they take only one form. They say, oh, he is only impersonal. So that is like
That is half
limiting.
knowledge.
Yeah, that's half
Half.
knowledge, and it's like limiting the God.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so that is the thing. So
Okay, Prabhuji.
very
Thanks,
beautiful
Prabhuji.
question. Thank you.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thanks, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So we'll end here almost 8 o'clock today. So I thank you all very much. Very nice questions and very good discussion. So three of you are consistently coming. Yesterday also I saw you. Today also you came. And some of you want to come on weekend to the temple. So you are most welcome. Please talk with your mentor and come accordingly. So waiting, we will meet also personally in that way. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sunil,
Bye,
Karthik,
sir.
and Vasudev. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.